Okay. All right. So let's get into the breakdown. First, let's put the games we never played. So that would be COD 3. Is that big red one? I'm so blind. Oh, they got Warzone on here. Oh, is this? I can't read. Is that Warzone 2? Interesting. Is there another one? Where's the? Oh yeah, this one. Boom. All right. So I didn't play any of those. My first Call of Duty was Call of Duty 4. I almost said Modern Warfare Remastered. I'm so chalked. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Woo! All right, so where do we start, bro? And then where the fuck? How do I want to judge these games? I feel like I want to start with an S tier game and then go to like a bottom tier game so we can kind of have our format of like what I think is one of the top tiers versus one of the worst tiers. So for an S tier game, undoubtedly Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 had some issues, there's no doubt about it. But I do. Can I X out of this? Because that's fucking annoying. Oh, well. Alright, I think I'd rather. No, it's fine. Let's keep it like that. Black Ops 2, I think, had honestly one of the best multis I ever played. The game had issues with lag compensation. It was pretty annoying. It was like the worst, I think. I think it was the worst Call of Duty to that point in terms of lag comp. It was pretty bad. Especially, it was very noticeable when you played competitive a lot, like I did. But overall, dude, like it was the only COD I feel like to this day where everything kind of combated everything between like stuns, tac mask, dead wire, EMPs. Like overall, the game was so extremely well rounded. I don't think it had the best Call of Duty multiplayer maps, but it did have some really good maps. Had some really good maps, and overall had good maps. I think there are games with better maps, but overall, man, like it's hard to say you can get better than Black Ops 2, honestly. Black Ops 2 is a phenomenal Call of Duty. League play was amazing. Pubs was amazing. I never actually played the campaign, although I've heard nothing but amazing things. And Zombies was also very good. Not the best zombie experience, but still like a very good zombie experience. So Black Ops 2 is undoubtedly an S. I don't even know if I could put anything in F, but I guess if you're ranking CODs, I guess there has to be an S and there has to be an F. All right, so for F, that's a tough one, man. I mean, gut kind of, honestly, I was thinking Vanguard originally, but I think, honestly, if I can find it, I think I'd put MW2 in F. I almost got to think about that for a second, because the problem that I have a little bit with some of the newer CODs is like Black Ops 2, COD, everything from COD 4 to like MWR, I could speak like very actively about because all those games I probably have like a minimum of 30 plus days on each game. With the newer CODs, I don't have as much, so there's definitely more blind spots. But the thing about this game, well, there's a lot of things with this game, right? So, like, one of which, MW19, like, it's almost okay that this game exists in a lot of ways because it's Call of Duty Modern Warfare, like, it's like a reboot. The fact that they decided to rename it MW2 when we already have an MW2, I mean, you're already kind of setting a target on your back. And then on top of it, like, this game just didn't offer anything, truthfully. Like, it wasn't nearly as good as MW19, and I didn't even really like MW19. The new MW3 is considerably better. Like the maps in this game were terrible. The movement was terrible. Like I know they tried to make it like it's old school COD 4 movement, MW2 movement, but it just wasn't. Right? It was much slower. Drifter did a good video on that in terms of like the ADS and all that. Like this game just wasn't good. Honestly. It just wasn't a good Call of Duty. Like where MW19 like really kind of brought the community back and gave the community hope, like the game just wasn't good. So yeah, so we're gonna start with BO2 in the S and MW2 in the F. Oh god, this is kind of tough, man, because I don't want to like overload. Like I don't want to put too many things in S and like too many things in F. Like I kind of want things spread a boot. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want it to be biased either because I definitely have my biases. Oh, it's tough. That's tough. That's tough. All right, let's go to Vanguard. Honestly, dude, I think I want to put Vanguard in D. It's D or F, but the thing about Vanguard is I feel like it's better than MW2. I feel like the maps were better. The ranked play was actually pretty fun. The gunplay wasn't bad. It was definitely like an overhated game. And the game got a lot of hate and was like considered the worst Call of Duty. But I think it's better than MW2. And I think it's easily better than MW2. That's why I don't think I could put it with F. Because honestly, I think that would just be disrespectful to Vanguard. Not that the game deserves a lot of respect. But like I said, like the maps were definitely better when you compare it to this. I guess the gunplay wasn't too much different, but I don't know. I felt like I kind of like the gunplay more in this game, honestly, as well. And I really enjoyed Ranked in this game. Ranked was actually pretty fun. So I would put Vanguard in D. It did have zombies. The zombies really weren't good. They weren't really good. It was one of the worst zombie experiences, but I would go Vanguard D, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I don't think I could put it any higher. Although, maybe I'll move things around at the end, but I don't want to do that either. I kind of want to put them where they lay. This is where things really start getting interesting. Whew. Whew. All right, let's grab my favorite game, my favorite Call of Duty of all time, Call of Duty 4. Now, I think a lot of people would probably look on like a B or A tier. I have a very different perspective. I personally would put Call of Duty 4 in the S tier. And here's why. This game is really credited for the Call of Duty success. If you actually look at Call of Duty prior to this game, Call of Duty 2 sold more copies than Call of Duty 1 and 3. I think it sold like 4 million copies off the top of my head. Call of Duty 3 was like 2 or 3 million. And Call of Duty 1 was like 1 or 2 million or something like that. This game was like over 13 million. Like this game really, I think, deserves that perspective and credit because it really did put Call of Duty on the map. You know? Like it really made Call of Duty a different thing and it made it more of like a household name, especially for dudes that are probably more like my age who played this game in 2007 when we were in high school or like middle school going into high school. So it's like when you compare it to other CODs, I could see why people would want to put it lower. But the thing is, without this game, like these other games don't exist. Like the success of the Call of Duty franchise doesn't exist if this game doesn't exist. It had, I think, probably... Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it had the best Call of Duty maps that have ever been on a Call of Duty game. Also, can someone switch my game to, like, Call of Duty? At least so we're not streaming this under R6, by the way. Random thought. Just wanted to throw that out there. But I think it had the best maps of all time. And that's definitely, like, there's definitely a lot of biases with me on COD 4. But also, hear me out on this. And I would love to actually look this up. Like, this game had to have had the most remastered, like, maps remastered of any other game, if you really think about it. Right? We had, first of all, we had what? Crash, Strike, Vacant, Overgrown, all on MW2 of 09. We had a whole remaster from this game. We had Backlot, Vacant, Crash, all on MW19. Shipment's been remade a million times, 100%. So I would personally say definitely my favorite maps. Like I said, a lot of bias because I have such an absurd amount of time on this game between this and MWR. But I think just from that perspective, like I can't put it anything lower than S. And like I said, there's definitely a lot of bias in that for me, but I can't. I just can't, dude. This set Call of Duty up for the future that it held. And also I think is undoubtedly the best maps. Like I said, just based off the remasters. They wouldn't be remastering terrible maps. They're remastering classic, iconic maps. And the most iconic maps come from Call of Duty 4. So Call of Duty 4 in the S tier. I could understand why people differ that opinion, but also keep in mind I did play this game during its prime. So not saying that makes me more right, but I just have I have that perspective. Different perspective. Fuck, dude. This is so tough. Because I don't want to put anything, I don't want to jip anything. You know what I'm saying? Woo! This is so tough. Alright, I'm going to go Call of Duty World War II. I'm going to go World War II in C. And I think that's actually extremely fair with the way this list is going right now. I think World War II was better than Vanguard, had better maps than Vanguard, had better gunplay than Vanguard, had way better zombies than Vanguard, low-key underrated zombies, not great. One of those things where good experiences on zombies and some bad experiences on zombies. But overall, was a pretty fun game. I'm trying to remember, there was a ranked play. There was the built-in GB integration, which may not mean anything to a lot of people, but it was pretty fucking cool for like an old school GB player. And also when I'm just ranking this, definitely better than Vanguard. I don't think it's good enough to be in the B tier because there's just too many games here that are just way better. But I think it deserves to be better than Vanguard, honestly. And the one thing about World War II zombies is, I think the people, what was it, Glenn Schofield, they were part of those devs, helped or made Dead Space. So they brought a real horror element into the zombie experience, which really worked and was really cool, and wish I saw that again more. I thought we were going to get that in Cold War based off the first trailer, but we never got it. But I would say World War II is firmly in C, and I feel actually really good about that, honestly. And this is where, like I said, things get kind of tough, because I don't want to put too many things in S, which could be an easy thing to do. Alright, I'm going to grab 09 MW2. And this one is really tough, because I think this one is either S or A. And for so many reasons, it's S. But I don't think that it matches up with COD 4 or BO2. And because, this game had a lot of issues, especially when it launched. The Javelin glitch. It was that super weird time where the original Infinity Ward team had, a major falling out with Activision. So if you played this game at launch, the game had issues for months. For months. And it was just nothing was going on. Just nothing was going on. It's a great game, and it's a really great game, especially, for someone like me who play GBs and, got all that goofy shit banned. And, the goofy shit is kind of what plays into the game a lot, right? But, I don't know, dude. Noob tubing, off spawn with the one-man army, with danger close, mixed with commando knife and lightweight, and it was its own thing. It was its own thing. I would not knock you for putting this game in S, but this game is, I think this game is firmly A. Great maps, really great maps. Great game. I don't think it's an S tier game, though. I don't think it's an S tier game. I think it's an A tier game, and I think that's totally fair. Man, I don't know what to do with this one. Let's grab Black Ops 4. I think, honestly, dude, Black Ops 4 in C, and I feel pretty comfortable about that. Zombies, I think this was the first sign of the fall off from zombies. And you can argue that it happened even before then, or was leading up to then. But the success of World at War, BO1, BO2, BO3 was so legit. And I feel there was a real noticeable drop off in zombies at this point, real noticeable. It wasn't slow rolling anymore. It was a noticeable. It wasn't terrible. There's some experiences on there, but it wasn't good. It wasn't great. The multi was pretty good. I didn't get a chance to play a lot of the multi. The multi I did enjoy. I think the maps were good. I actually liked the longer TTK, honestly. And Blackout was really good. So typically when I'm grabbing these games, I feel like I kind of have an idea of the range. I'm always off one or two of where I want to put it. Because I had thought maybe about a B, but I don't think it's valid of a B. I think it could be. I wouldn't knock you for putting B, but I think it's a C game. I think it's a C game. Blackout was a lot of fun. To this day, Blackout is my favorite COD BR experience. But I think Black Ops 4 in the C tier alongside World War II, I think that's a perfect duo. I think that's a perfect pairing right there for those two. Man, it's like tough. Because I don't know where I want to take some of these. And I kind of want to grab a B game. And I'm not totally sure what I want to put in B. Actually, you know what? I know exactly what I'm going to put in B. The first B, and I feel like this has been nice and balanced to this point. Very nice and balanced. The first B game I'm going to grab is Call of Duty Ghost. I think Ghost could be an A game. Like, that's kind of what I was stuck between, was B and A. But ultimately, I feel like the games got to kind of align, you know? And Black Ops 2 and COD 4 were an S tier for very different reasons, but I think we're both valid from my point of view. These games kind of pair up, and when I think of it, I don't think Ghost pairs up with MW2. I don't think that makes much sense. I think Ghost is definitely a drop-off from MW2, but I think is considerably better than these games. Gunplay was good. TTK was extremely fast. And the issue with this game that these games did not have is the maps that were good were very good. Very, very good. Very, very good. The maps that were bad were all-time bad. All-time bad. There was no in-between with Call of Duty Ghost. Call of Duty Ghost was in that weird space where it was a next-gen game at the time for PS4 and Xbox One. And with that, there was just like weird decisions that they did, I feel like, with like some of the bigger maps and some of the things that were going on the maps. And then also the PS4 version was like completely broken, honestly, with all the frame lag. And like I said, I could see it being an A, but it doesn't match up with MW2. And it's better than these games. I think B is the perfect spot for Call of Duty Ghost. No ranked play, by the way, which, you know, I mean, this game's coming off of Black Ops 2. The problem with this game, too, is it's coming off of Black Ops 2, which is an all-time great COD, and then it's also coming off of MW3 and the Modern Warfare trilogy. And ultimately, the same with MW3. I don't know if I'd want to put this A or S. I kind of lean towards A. I don't know if I want to rank this one right now. Or do I want to hold off on this one? Damn, this is taking me long to get through. This is taking me very long to get through. But I feel good about where we've ranked things right now because I feel like we've set a standard and precedent for each of the lists. And now we can kind of compare these games into those as well. But what I'm trying to avoid is putting too many things into one category and simply lumping everything together. I'm trying to have like a really fair comparison. And by the way, if you want to hear any of the reasons that you may have missed for the rankings already, you'll have to go back and watch it. Opposed to me reiterating it, because I'm taking some time here into that. All right, where do I want to go next? I was thinking about going MW3 next. I was kind of looking at A for that, but let's hold off on that. Let's hold off on that. It's just so tough because I also have such a different perspective with zombies and stuff. So it's really hard for me to kind of separate some of these games like Black Ops 3 and World at War. You know what I mean? It's such a challenge, man. It's such a challenge. I'll tell you what I'm going to grab, though. I'm going to grab Advanced Warfare. And this one kind of tugs at my heartstrings a little bit because I really like AW. And honestly, from like a straight personal perspective, I would probably put it in A in terms of my liking for this game because I really like the game that much. Like, I love this game. I really do. But I think if I'm trying to grade it, I think it's probably a B. I guess you could probably even go C. But AW, I think, was the best, or I should say my favorite advanced movement system. I really like the jetpacks, opposed to, or like the Exo Boost, I guess, opposed to like the jetpacks that existed in BO3 and IW. I thought gunplay was also the best of the advanced movement games. And honestly, too, I think it had the best maps for a futuristic COD. And I felt like it was very seamless how they transitioned that. Especially with the mantlings and like the high ground. I would firmly put this game in the B because I think it is pretty comparable to Ghost. I think it's very comparable to Ghost. And with that being said, it doesn't match up with MW2, but it is a really good game. Like, honestly, dude, from B, like, S is like near perfection. A is like, S is like basically perfection. A is like near perfection, and B is like very great. You know what I mean? And then this is where I feel like I start viewing more of a fall off. So it's no diss to put this in B. Biolab Hardpoint, 100%, dude. Even ranked play in this, it wasn't as good as BO2 ranked play, but it was good. It was fun. Atlas Gorge. Like, this map had some really good maps. Riot, Detroit. Like, yeah. Honestly, man, that was one thing I was really impressed about, was just how long they had made COD to that point, and then the first futuristic advanced movement game, and it felt like the maps catered so well to the movement system, which could just be such an easy thing to miss. And I felt like they did a really good job with it. Like, a really good job with it. I can't really say enough good things about AW. I really like AW. I think AW B, totally fair. For a personal perspective, I'd probably go A, but for this perspective of a tier list, we'll go B. I think that's totally fair and good. Ooh, this is where things just, it doesn't get any easier, honestly, man. It really doesn't. It really doesn't. It really doesn't at all. But now that we've been able to lay some more of the groundwork and kind of see what's going on, I'd grab Cold War. And I would honestly, I didn't really like this game too much. I know a lot of people did like it, and I respect that. But I would put Cold War in C personally. Because like I said, kind of going off the standard that we implemented, which I'm glad we did it this way, of kind of like getting all the tiers filled out. I would not put Cold War in the same breath of Advanced Warfare or Ghost. I just wasn't really impressed with this game, to tell you the truth. Like, I didn't like the way the gunplay felt. I didn't really like the way the movement felt. Treyarch and Infinity Ward, they always have, like, different feels for their games. But ultimately, like, I remember when some of you guys tried to get me on this game to try it out because it was, like, the old maps. And I remember playing, like, Raid and Slums and all that stuff. Like, I really feel like MW3 with the 09 MW2 maps felt and play much better than what Cold War played with those maps. Like, I really didn't like it. I really didn't think it worked, honestly. I didn't think it worked. I don't think it's a bad game, but I also don't think it's deserving of any of these games. I don't think it's in the same breath. I think it's kind of just whatever. I think it's kind of here. In fact, I would honestly... I honestly, dude, for me personally, I would probably put this in D instead of C, honestly. Kind of going C because I know the game's beloved by COD fans, but for me personally, man, I don't know though, because it's better than Vanguard. I don't think it's as good as these games though. It's a C or D. He said, nah, that's crazy. All right, we'll keep the initial posting. We'll say C. We'll say C. Although for me personally, dude, if it was just like my well, I guess that's what this is supposed to be though, right? But I'm trying to rank them. I'm trying to rank them. All right, we'll stick with C. I think C sounds fair. D's a little overboard because that's definitely more of a personal thing for me to put that in D. I think C is totally fair for this game. Like I said, I didn't think the gunplay was good. I don't think the BO2 maps played well on this game. I don't at all, in fact. I think the guns were too much of a laser. Like in a game like MW3, I think the 09 maps feel a lot better, but like playing Raid and Slot, like I don't think it was good in this game. I just don't. Alright, let's just get another S tier out of the way. Black Ops 1 is 100% an S tier. I think it's the best COD Zombies that was ever made. Undoubtedly. Multiplayer was amazing. This game has also got some of my favorite maps of all time. I guess the only thing you could knock for this game, and it's not actually, I don't know if I would use it as a knock. I really wouldn't, come to think of it. The one thing that I always really appreciated about Black Ops 1, whereas I felt like it was the only COD that actually required some gun skill. Like, the best gun in the game was the FAMAS. And the FAMAS had, like, some of the most recoil of, like, any of, like, guns in COD history. At least in terms of, like, good guns. Yeah, Sticks and Stones. What were those called? Not the party games. Was it called? No, it wasn't called party games. BO1 introduced that with the Sticks and Stones and the gun game and all that stuff and wager matches. Their unlock system was also very interesting with the currency. The maps were amazing between like Grid, Havana, Hanoi. Did I say Villa already? Villa, Nuketown, obviously introduced for the first time ever, which has become an absolute iconic COD map. Summit. A bunch of these maps have been remade. I don't think you could put this map on A. I really don't. I think Black Ops 1 is firmly an S. Firmly an S. Literally playing Black Ops 1 right now. I like that. Yeah, I think Black Ops 1 is firmly an S. Some of the best maps ever made. Best zombies ever made. Close to the best multi ever made. I mean, just not too many flaws with Black Ops 1, man. It was an amazing game, really. It was an amazing ass game. Not too many flaws with Black Ops 1. Black Ops 1 is an automatic S. Woo! This does not get any easier. Although, it actually has gotten a little easier because we've set some standards. I'm going to go... I was really unsure about World at War because my initial thought with World at War was B. It's a B or an A. The thing about it is I feel like World at War clears these games, but I feel like I don't know if it matches up with MW2. And that's where I'm kind of at a mix-up. But World at War did pioneer zombies, which, you know, has been in a rough spot as of late, but ultimately, I mean, it's COD Zombies, bro. Even if it completely dies with the next Treyarch game and, like, completely dies, flatlines, like, COD Zombies had a run there of just unbelievableness. Right? The multi was fantastic. Now, this is kind of similar to Ghost, because there are some bad maps in World at War. There really are. But I would say the good maps on World at War are even better than the good maps that are on Ghost. Between, like, Dome, which finally got its flowers and got remade on Was it Vanguard? I believe it was Vanguard. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Castle, Hangar, or was it Airfield? No, Hangar and Airfield are different. Asylum. I'm not even saying. I can't even think of my favorite map right now in that game. What the name of it is, which is driving me a little crazy. It's never been remade either, which sucks. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But yeah, and what COD said, no other COD has been as gritty or as gory as this game. Like, this game definitely has its own distinct feel. And especially if you play zombies a lot and you switch through the different versions. Like, the World at War remakes play the best on BO1. But the World at War feel, it brings a different thing. Brings a different thing. Bill, it brings a different thing. You mean to tell me CeeLo is not a bad map? Roundhouse? Roundhouse ain't terrible, but I mean, come on, bro. World at War, what these games have is excellence with maps. This game has some amazing maps, but it's not pure excellence. World at War is firmly an A, and I feel pretty good about that, honestly. I feel really good about that, truthfully. We're going to grab Infinite Warfare. And we're going to put Infinite Warfare on the same playing field as Vanguard. This game was kind of a weird one, because when the beta came out, I actually really liked the beta. But ultimately, at the time, from COD 4 to IW/MWR timeframe, this is definitely the COD that I played the least. So I may not have the most valid opinion on this game, just because I literally spent the entire year playing Modern Warfare Remastered, like, actually. But ultimately, like, what did this game really bring that was different? Because if you look at what AW brought as a jetpacking game, as an advanced movement game, to then what BO3 was, to then what IW was, like, it was the same movement tech as BO3, with not as good maps, with more futuristic shit, which people had already been like, yo, we're done with this. The only thing this game had going for it, as Kaz pointed out, is Spaceland was fire. I thought Rave was good. But I don't know if that warrants enough to put it with these games. Yeah, I don't think it does. I think it is probably better than Vanguard, but it's just kind of that weird thing of, like, I mean, if we had like S plus, like, if we had the minuses, we could probably get a little bit more specific. Or I could always put, like, what I think of is the best game of each category. That way it's kind of clear. Because I do think this game clears this, but I don't know if this game matches up with, like, World War II, for example. So I think Infinite Warfare in D is totally fair. Totally fair. D or C. Like I said, when I'm grabbing these, it's always like one of the two tiers I'm thinking of. This is where things continue to get tricky, honestly. Alright, we should probably bang one of the war zones out, honestly. Alright, let's grab... I actually haven't really... You know what's funny? Is one of these Warzone 3? This is Warzone 2, so this is probably Warzone 3. I'm going to put Warzone 3 as never played. And I think that's fair. Like, I've played like a handful of games, but it was all during my Noct run. And I had all kinds of frame lag. So I really haven't played MW3 Warzone. I really don't want to rank it, because I don't know where the fuck I'd even rank it, honestly. So I think it's fair to just say I never played. Even though I've never actually touched any of these games. I have played like a handful of games, but like I had the frame lag. I really barely played it. I really don't know. So I'm gonna just get that out of the way because I can't rank that, honestly. I really can't. All right, let's grab. Let's grab Warzone. This is a weird one for me because I really did not like Warzone all that much because I was very much into Apex, like very, very, very much into Apex. And honestly, dude, if this was like a BR tier list, this would probably be pretty low. But it's not that. It's a Call of Duty tier list. So I lean to put this game in an A or B tier. However, you could definitely make the argument for an S tier. And I 100% don't feel that way. So I will never put this in an S tier. But I do think it deserves love. Because this game mode, this BR, I think is not as good as Blackout, personally. But it doesn't really matter what I think. Like, the community really absorbed this game and really put this back on the map. So, like, kind of, like, these are separated. It'd be one thing if it was, like, MW19 with this, but it's not. A lot of people look at Warzone 1 as, like, MW19 and kind of combine the two. But the thing is, like, even though my personal feelings for this game aren't great, I mean, it was massive. It came out at the perfect time at the start of the pandemic. And even, like, my personal feelings aside, like, what this game accomplished in the BR scene was pretty impressive. Because Blackout, of course, was not crossplay, was not free. This was free. This was crossplay. And then this was also a really cool experience as, like, a longtime COD fan. Just from the standpoint of, like, this actually innovated. Whereas it's, like, I've been asking, like, where is the innovation from this game to, like, this game? Like, what's really changed, if anything? Not a whole lot. But if you see this, like, this came into a space that was already packed of battle royales. Added more players. I think the map was terrible. I think Verdansk was a terrible map. I don't think it was a good map at all. But added score streaks, which I did not think, honestly, at face value when I heard about it that it would work. But it worked. They did a good job with that. Added the Gulag. Excellent idea. Was amazing. Not a big fan of the loadouts. I still always wish that there was more of a balance between loadies and actual looting. But they went all in on loadouts. But I think it's an A tier game. And I think it deserves to be A tier. I think the game just accomplished too much in the Call of Duty scene for it to not be an A tier. It really put COD back on the map. And now, honestly, COD's bleeding again. But it did for a short time put COD on the map. So I think this map in A tier is totally fair and totally valid, honestly. Totally valid. I'm gonna go with... Let's just bang out both the war zones. Proud of you, Vic. Yeah, you probably never expected that from me, but I'm trying to be fair, and I think that's fair. And like I said, if it was a BR tier list and we had PUBG, we had Apex, we had H1, we had BRs, this would be a different story for me. But for what it is for COD, it was a big deal. Warzone 2, I'm going to go D. I actually played probably more Warzone 2 than Warzone 1. Because I actually really enjoyed the ranked play on this. But when you really think about it, like, everything that we just praised this game about, like, this game fell flat on. Like, completely fell flat on. Like, all the hype, everything that this game was, this game turned out to be the exact opposite. I don't think I could disrespect it enough to put it as an F. because I enjoyed it to a similar level in which I enjoyed Vanguard, which is why I'm leaving it as a D. But I think it could easily be an F. I think it could be easily an F, especially with the expectation that this game set. But I think I would personally go D. But it could easily be an F. But I think D is fair. All right, we're getting to the bottom of the barrel. I'm also getting tired as fuck, dude. And this is the longest tier list ranking I think of all time. But I'm trying to be thorough here. Woo! This is where things just, man, where do I go? Where do I go? All right, now that the playing field has been more leveled, I think I would grab MW3, the newest, and put it in B. And that might be a hot take for some. I think you could probably go C. I think you could easily go C with this game. I really do. But what I really like about this game is I feel like this is the best multiplayer experience that has existed for a long time. And now, granted, it's not really offering much, right? Like, it's the 09 maps. But you know what? At least hats off to them. They've shown a million times that they can have something really good and absolutely obliterate it. They didn't do it with this game. You know, they learned from their experience of this brutally terrible game. And they made it better. You know, the gunplay's alright. It's not as good as any of these games. There's no doubt about that. Not even close. But you know what? It is a nice return for Call of Duty. I respect this game. I do enjoy this game. I kind of respect the zombie mode. It's not anything like these other ones. But you know what? It's something different. It's something unique. It's kind of fun. Honestly, when I played it, it was kind of fun. I really didn't mind it. The maps are still fun to play. They still hold up extremely well, even on this game. The gunplay's fun. I think this game is totally fair in a B tier, honestly. We are getting so down and dirty. And look at our rankings, by the way. We have, like, spaced these out so well. The balance is so well. The problem is, I don't know if there's any other F tier games, honestly, if I'm being honest about it. Maybe, though. Maybe. We'll see. Like I said, wow, Call of Duty finally finished uninstalling. This is where we grab Black Ops 3. Oof. This is so tough. MW19, MW3, and BO3. Honestly, dude, when I first grabbed this, it's not an S, right? Like it's not like I don't think there's another S. There's not. I'm gonna just say it now. I'm sorry for spoilers. There's not another S tier game. These are the S tier games. They are hands and they're leaps and bounds over the other games. The question is, for me, A or B. Now, pre-Chronicles, it would probably be a B or C. But man, Chronicles is so good. Chronicles is so good that I think about putting this in A. But the thing about it is I don't know if it really matches up with MW2 or World at War. That's why I'm like a little hesitant to rank this. Because I think for me it's very A or B. Because the multi was good. I enjoyed the AW multi more. But these zombies really turned out to be something. They're not BO1 zombies. Fuck. What do you guys think? I've not asked for chat input at all to this point. What do you guys think? A, B, or something else? It's A, no question. B. It could really be either. The problem I have is I think it leaps all of these games here. But I don't know if it leaps any of these games. It's like on the in-between. It's in that weird in-between. And I agree with you, Receding. 100%. Pre-Chronicles, I'm thinking B or C. But the thing is, Chronicles exists. And Chronicles exists, and there's a ton of content on Chronicles. We're going to go A. We're going to go A. We're going to go A. It could easily be a B. But I think A is fair. I think AW Multi was better, as I said. I think AW Gunplay was better. But this game did have actually some really good multiplayer maps. The gunplay wasn't bad. I just preferred the AW gunplay. But the game did have good maps. Had better maps than IW, that's for sure. And Zombies was good. Zombies was good and Zombies was a hit, honestly. We'll go A. I think it's probably more of like a bottom A. It's definitely not an MW2A. This is where, like I said, we need the minuses. But this is where BO3 is. And I think that's totally fair. MW19, baby. So this is just straight up MW19. Warzone has been ranked, so there is no Warzone consideration in this. My gut, honestly, wants to put this game as a D. Because I do think this game was better than this. I'm going to lay this here for now and kind of talk it out and kind of see where we land. Because I don't know if it really was a true F game. But here's the problem with this game. This game was the start of some evil ass shit with removing red dots from the minimap, which persisted for years. They originally wanted to remove the minimap in total. They brought back the minimap, but they said, fuck you, we'll remove the red dots. That shit lasted for years. It was a terrible precedent that was set. This game also has horrendous maps. There are some decent ones, like, what was it, Saint Marie, Gunrunner, Hackney Yard wasn't bad. And why I would want to move this map off of F is all the remakes that came to this game after the fact was actually pretty good. The gunplay was actually pretty good. I prefer the slide canceling of like an MW3 over an MW19. But why I kind of want to stick this game in F, even though I think it's better than MW2 and probably deserves D status, and maybe I'll move it. But just the precedent that was set, bro. Like, bro, they removed red dots from the minimap, dead silence, and that shit lasted for years, dude. And this was the start of it, dude. This was the very start of it, yo. This was the culprit, right? And it started it because this game was massive. This game sold extremely well. Activision does not care about input. They only care about their numbers. This game sold well, and they were like, "Fuck it, everyone likes this game. Everyone bought this game. They don't mind not having red dot mini maps." So I think it's an F or a D, man. It's an F or a D. I kind of want to put it D because I think it clears this game. It clears this game. But that's why maybe we got to reorganize, and I can reorganize what I think is the best of the S, best of the A, best of the, you know what I mean? And put, maybe that's how we can separate them. I'll tell you what, we'll do a quick review maybe at the end here since I got one game left. Because I really do think this game clears this. But the maps, bro. The maps. The maps. The maps. The maps. This is where things get hard for me, though. We'll move on from this and we could revisit it. Even though I feel pretty good about this list, besides this is where I feel the weakest. I'm most unsure of this, of all the rankings that I have so far, is this game right here. Does that feel better? Alright, let me ponder it. Let's set it at D for now. We'll ponder it and move forward. Because it's a D or an F. Alright, and then the last game. This is where things, honestly, are just so hard. Because this is definitely one of my favorite Call of Duties as well. So for me, this 100% clears this. This is 100%, if it ends up in A, the best A game. So where this game sets is either the best A game or probably the worst S game. So this game was cool. It brought back theater mode, which was on Black Ops 1. The game's issues were, from like a competitive perspective, like a pro scene perspective, this game took major steps backwards because there wasn't built-in LAN support off start, which is why this game was not MLG. And that's why, like, when you watch like Optic MW3, it was like all EGL because they all played like overseas that year. This was not an MLG game. This game only had 2 competitive game modes for search, or for comp, search and CTF. But this game introduced specialists, which to this day is my favorite streaks in Call of Duty. This game has amazing gunplay. I'm trying to think about map-wise if I would say this game has better maps than MW2. I don't know if I could put this game in S, though. Because I feel like these games, these 3 are all so clearly S. And I feel like for you to earn perfection, like you need to earn perfection. I kind of want to put high A on this. What do you guys think? Moab, which was a significant improvement from the nuke. Although the nuke is amazing, the nuke is cool. But no kill streaks to earn the Moab. Map-wise, I mean, here's the problem, dude. Map-wise is good. Lockdown, Seatown, Bootleg, Arcaden, Hard Hat, Terminal, which was just MW2, but still was a good terminal. Dome, survival mode, which was really cool. It's either the best A or the lowest S. It's really that simple. It's either the best A or the lowest S. This is where things are so hard for me, man. Like ranking 1 through like 4, like the top 4 Call of Duties are just so tough because it's just splitting hairs. And the thing that this game also had going against it, where a lot of probably new players or players who weren't playing in its prime, was this is really kind of one of the first CODs that really started getting some slander. A lot of people referred to this game during its prime as MW 2.5, which was a real thing. Which was a real thing. I mean, the question is, bro, with the balance, we got 4, 4, 3, 3, 4, 1, and these all I never played. I think we're going to finalize that. What do you guys think? I think we're going to finalize that. I'm also going to move that. Make that first ahead of that. Honestly, dude, give me your thoughts, opinions, and honest feedback because I feel pretty good about this. It is tough to do this because there are some games that I feel like are better than others in the certain tier lists. But obviously we're not working with like pluses and minuses. Um Obviously if you're just coming in or if you missed any part of that, you would have to probably go back, especially early on. I got really tired towards the end of that, dude. I'm like actually pretty fucking tired right now. You would have to go back and listen to my explanation and reasons because I definitely I did this for probably what, over an hour. I think I did this for an hour. I think it took me an hour to rank 8, 11, 15, 19 games, but I was pretty thorough with my thoughts and reasons. I don't think there's anything I missed. I feel good about all of them. Yeah, I feel good about all of them. I feel good about MW19 and D. I originally thought about maybe F for those reasons, but I feel good with that in D, honestly, because it clears MW2. The only other iffy one is MW3 if I want that in low A, or high A, but I think low S is fair. I think low S is fair. With the asterisk on BO3 being that high, I have no real issues. MW19 below World War II is insane, bro. Warzone got its own ranking here, bro, if that's what your hang-up is. Warzone 1 is A. Remove Warzone from the MW19 project completely. Separate into its own things. I mean, this game had terrible maps. Was the real experience that put Call of Duty back on the map. Not this. This game had terrible maps. This game removed Dead Silence. This game removed red dots from the minimap. The only thing this game really had going for it was the remasters that ended up coming. That's really it. That's really it. think we're going to save that, though. This dude love Piccadilly. Vanguard and Ghost are F. People just say they're good because they want to be different. Nobody plays that shit. I disagree. I like Ghost during its time. Ghost had Specialist, which was one of the few games that had Specialist streaks coming off of MW3. It had some really bad maps, but the maps that were good were really good. And I played comp in this game and really enjoyed it. The TTK was really fast. But some of the maps like Octane and Warhawk and Sovereign and Frayed and Strike Zone, like there were some cool maps. There really were. And I wasn't really necessarily the biggest fan of it, but some of like the KEMs that altered the maps, like Strike Zone, I don't know if there was actually any other, now that I think about it, but like that was kind of a cool addition. I mean, playing the nuked out Strike Zone was kind of ass, but you know, it was kind of cool. The biggest flaw of this game was coming off of Black Ops 2 and then also coming off of this trilogy where I personally have these, like, these are the high, you know what I mean? Like, this game is literally coming off of COD 4, MW2, MW3, was the next Infinity Ward game to follow that, and then was following directly of Black Ops 2. But this was genuinely a good game. Ghost was genuinely a good game. In my opinion. I wouldn't put it in the breadth of these games at all. But it was a good game. Extinction is good. Aged really well. Extinction is good. And it was a shame that we didn't see more of it, because I feel like that would have made more sense opposed to beating the death out of COD Zombies, is if we continued to get more Extinction experiences. Even if they wanted to evolve it away from what the original Extinction was, it would have been really cool to get more of that. And I feel like we should have gotten more of that. I didn't really like the direction they took of beating us over the head with so much COD Zombies, when part of the specialness of COD Zombies was that we got it every other year. And like, COD Zombies was good enough that it lasted that year. You know what I mean? Like, it lasted the very next year, and then we were all excited for the new experience. Instead, it was like they just crammed more zombies down our throats, and a lot of them were just mid-experiences, you know? And then also, who knows how much Treyarch got involved? Who knows if Treyarch's just been bouncing from zombie game to zombie game, in turn then fucking up their own zombie game, you know? The KEM dream, yeah, you know. If you know, you know. But I feel really good about this list. I feel extremely good about this list. I feel like looking back on it, I don't know. I feel like this is a really fair list, and I feel really good about where I rank them. I think the only issue that some people would have, I don't really think there's too many issues you could really take up with my list, other than maybe like Cold War. But I really didn't play a ton of it. It just, this is kind of going off of what I've played and some of my thoughts on that. So I can understand why some people probably think that's higher. I guess Foe took issue with this one. I could understand why some people would think COD 4 is lower. I gave plenty of reasons and thoughts on why I think COD 4 very easily deserves to be S. I'm not going to repeat myself, especially because I don't know if I just burnt myself out from the tier list. But I think COD 4 is very firmly in S. Not to leave you on a cliffhanger. I'll make sure I publish this, so if you want to hear those reasons, you can. It's a shame they didn't put MWR, but I guess they just lumped that with COD 4. But yeah, I think it's a good list. I'm happy with the way this came out. I'm very happy with the way this came out. And maybe I'll update after I actually play some Warzone 3. But to put it in never played is totally fair for me. Although it doesn't seem like on face value, like I'm sure it probably clears this, but probably doesn't clear this. So I would assume it probably ends up here or here. And I feel like my guess is probably here. But that's just a guess. We're not going to lock that in. Michael Myers, bro, was COD 4 through and through, bro. During that time. Alright, my friends. I love y'all. And I appreciate y'all. We had a bunch of stream crashes tonight. Which sucks. And it's kind of crazy because we got so dialed in on this tier list. Which maybe I'll upload this into a video. But I gotta be honest. If I did that, this would be such a long video. I literally did this. It took me an hour to do this. It literally, like... I mean, I hope you guys enjoyed the tier list and maybe the feedback that I was giving, because I was pretty goddamn thorough. It took me a fucking long time to do this. It took a long ass time, bro. But on some real shit, dude, much love to you guys who tuned in tonight or just anytime at all, man. It's, you know, definitely kind of like a sentimental time, considering I'm going to end this stream right now, and this was our 10-year anniversary stream. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how we've hit 10 years. I don't know how it's been that long already. It's pretty crazy. But I do appreciate you guys who have supported me at any time, even if, like, you know, you just pop in every once in a while or whatever the case may be, whatever the deal is. I do appreciate it, man. Like I said, it's hard to believe, and I've been very happy to just be able to still be around and provide content, and I've had a lot of fun over the years, man. And I want to have a lot more fun. You know, even though we've moved away from playing more like COD multi, which sucks and hurts my heart, but as I was kind of saying earlier when we were talking about it, I just don't really enjoy the COD multi that much anymore. I just don't think it's that good. This experience is good for what it is, but like I said, I don't know if it's worthy of grinding. But anyway, I'm going off the rails, but I do appreciate you guys who supported me over the years, man. And it's hard to believe, man, that I got 94,000 follows and, you know, pretty steadily always over 100 Twitch subs. So, yeah, I really appreciate it. So, you know, I think the best is yet to come. I'm excited for the future. I love y'all. I'll promise you I will highlight this. I will highlight this. Maybe I'll turn it into a YouTube video, the longest YouTube video ever, but whatever. Have a great night. Thank you for the anniversary stream. I love y'all. What game said to another 10 more, bro? Maybe I'll retire at 40. That might be a good retiring point, or fuck it, maybe I'll go to 50. I don't know, but we'll. The goal is let's try and at least get to 40. Let's try and at least get to 40. All right, yo. Let's try 10 more years of this. What do you guys say? Let's run it back 10 more. See where we're at, bro. All right, I love y'all. Take it easy. Have a good night. Have a great day tomorrow. I should be live tomorrow, but dog, I'm probably gonna be fucking exhausted. But I'll probably be live tomorrow. But I might be not. But I might be. Alright, I love y'all. Stream till 70! Damn, bro. No retirement for old Sat, yo. Fucking VSAT playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 iteration number 8. Doing tier list on that. I look forward to it. Have a good night, guys. Appreciate y'all. Take it easy, alright?